Hello, VOD viewers. I have no idea what this stream's about, so I'm not even prepared to give you any kind of lead in. I'm gonna just kind of be hanging out here as I wait for people to show up because this is just the anime stream. It's just hey, I like anime. I like to look at it, talk about it, and be a part of it. And in a general sense, um, I don't know. I don't have like like an anime club or something where you just kind of show up and like, hey, what's anime? Anime is cool. Let's talk about it. So I kind of just encourage, hello cartoons, anybody to, I don't know, tell me what do you think we should check out? We could watch YouTube videos or watch anime sped up so that it gets past the copyright detection, or basically anything. I literally searched the word anime on DuckDuckGo as my start for the stream. Just like, yeah, anime. This is what I'm looking for. This general vibe. I'm trying to decide how much of this particular artwork I actually like. Like, this is the very, generic idea of anime as of, well, it's an odd kind of combination of like 2000s and 2010s stuff that comes like this aesthetic isn't really hyper modern, the stuff that comes up when I search anime. I'm really surprised, like, I don't know why High School Fleet is there. It's just like the Anime News Network image for High School Fleet is one of the first results for anime on DuckDuckGo. Let's see what we get on Googly. Images. Okay, this is much more reasonable as an expectation for what you would get if you searched anime. All the popular shows basically, and also the most famous lolly that probably half the people who share images of even know who it is. Greetings from Chile. Hello. This is literally the let's chill and talk about anime stream. So I'm just waiting for people to come in and start talking about anime. Like any of it. Just whichever one. I feel no sense of direction at this moment towards this stream. I just I want to talk about anime with people on the internet who happen to be awake right now, especially if they super chat me. But even if they don't, we can still talk about anime. This is a classic image. Ugu mi kawaii. Kawaii means cute. That's the one. Yeah. Oh, it's a whole know your meme. Epic fail. Sage reported, called the cops. Who's my favorite character in the Chimera Ant arc? I can't even honestly remember the unique characters to that arc well enough at this point. It's been like almost 8 years since I watched Hunter x Hunter. That's nuts. I've been doing this job for a long fucking time. But that was like early into me covering anime on YouTube. The search you started the stream on with anime pictures looks like what you'd find on Wikipedia under anime-related articles. Yeah. Whoa, dim eyes. Yeah, this is a classic. Whoa, I just heard a big-ass thunder. Did y'all hear that? There's a lightning thunderstorm going on here in Virginia. It's pretty wild. Wonder Egg priority. Ooh, what the fuck is this? I just like want to scroll and see what catches my attention. What am I drawn in by? Big precure eye. I like that. Kakegurui girl. Let's find something to watch, maybe. Anime. What comes up? What is this? Mafia's Supernatural Power, episode 1 through 12, English dub. What the hell is Mafia's Supernatural Power? So I've noticed that there's a lot currently of these like entire fucking show uploads on YouTube. Like a lot of recent anime is just entirely up on YouTube. I don't know how or why, but there it is. Let's go ahead and speed it up. But I don't want to have to... I would prefer subtitles so I could read it and not actually have to pay attention to the audio since I'm going to be talking over it. What do I think Bruno Bucciarati's hair routine is? I think he karate chops it with his hands. Like every once in a while when it starts to get in front of his eyes, he just goes like hits himself in the forehead with his open palm rather, and chops it off. This music is way too fucking dramatic. Wait, I wanted like all the Acid House songs. Where's the... Put me back into the Acid House section of the Eureka 7 soundtrack. Yeah. I just finished watching Madoka yesterday, the TV show. I haven't watched the third film, and toward the last episode, I felt like there's a lot more to this, and 12 episodes is not enough. I don't know if I agree with that. Did I watch Turning Red? I don't go by Digi. Digi's dead. Trixie. I have not seen Turning Red, though. Try watching Japanese anime reviewers. Some of them are subbed. I have a link if you want. Yeah, sure. Send me that. Or just tell me the name of it and I'll search it, because the link might get eaten by YouTube. Watch Ping Pong. Let's see if Ping Pong's on YouTube. Ping Pong. Oh, what the hell is this? This is what you wanted, right? This is Ping Pong, right? Ping Pong? Okay. That's enough Ping Pong. Oh, this didn't help. What is this Ping Pong? Okay. That'll definitely get me claimed. It doesn't seem like they have Ping Pong on YouTube, so don't tell anybody that you saw this. Alright. Let's watch Ping Pong at 4 times speed. This is definitely pretty intense at this speed. It feels fluidly animated, though. This guy's hair. He's got that Denzel Curry hair. Yeah, this song is amazing. 4 times speed is the perfect speed to hear it at. If anybody has anything they'd like me to rant about, send me a super chat, and I'll rant about it while we watch Ping Pong at 4 times speed. This is pretty entertaining, but it's also It's a little much, but I'm afraid if I slow it down that I'll get that I'll that I'll have more copyright issues. Implying we can hear it. Oh. Here you go. Sorry about that. I wish I had a lot of money so I could pay for a lot of those. I'll take it. Here, we'll give you like half sound. How's that? Alright, I'm tired of watching ping pong because it's too hard to watch at 4 times speed. I need something much easier. Something that isn't taxing. Oh man, I remember seeing Utakata. I don't really remember what most of this show was like. I remember it has a really fucked up ending. Oh god, it looks like shit on this player. No. No, I can't look at it in that garbage quality. Nyankoi. I vaguely remember this. I think I watched the first episode of this in like 2007 or whenever the fuck this came out. Okay, you know what? 2 times. We're just gonna go with 2 times. 4 times is too fast to be enjoyable. Alright. Mononoke. Ooh. I do love that show, but that I would rather play something trashy that I don't have to really pay that much attention to understand what's going on, and also that I'm not going to get distracted by and start watching, because I'm supposed to be streaming. I'm supposed to be talking to the chat and talking about anime, and not necessarily watching it. But, you know, I just... As somebody who talks about anime on the internet and does live streams, it's weird that like it's so difficult to find a middle ground between like watching anime and talking about it, if you know what I mean. Like with video games, it's very easy to stream yourself playing the game and then take that footage and make a analysis video out of it, you know. And, like, obviously the fact that you gotta kind of pay attention to anime makes it a lot harder to, you know, like, come away with, like, any kind of real impression unless you're just looking at ridiculous images, I guess. But, god damn. Big thunder. This show sucks. Nothing has happened. Not one image has been interesting in this entire thing. Holy shit. I just got a $50 super chat from Audrey Rogers. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Trixie, have you seen Tokyo Revengers? I haven't. Let's go watch that. Because that is... You're the first person to ask me that, which is a shock to me. Because I did not hear about this show at all. When this was airing... It went completely by me. I didn't hear about it. Nobody in my circles talked about it. And then I went on my anime list, and like I've just been going back through because I regularly do this thing where I just go to the seasonal charts, which are automatically filtered by most popular. And I try to talk about usually whatever shows were the most popular. And Tokyo Revengers is... not only the biggest show of its season, but number 135 by popularity on the entire site. So, a lot of fucking people watched this show. As you can see, almost 1 million. Which actually, it's crazy to me that 1 million people marked it and it's only at 135. Because I can remember a time when that would have put it in like the top 10. And so... you know, that puts it a little bit into perspective, but this is like the same number that Bisque Doll had. You know, I didn't hear about this at all. Maybe because it's about a bunch of cool looking dudes and not about cute girls, and that tends to be what my circles you know, run in more, I guess. I don't even know if I have circles anymore, actually. I just go on Twitter and I see lots of cute anime girls, and I don't really see stuff like this. But I'm not going to give it a serious watch right now because we're streaming, but I'll at least sample it out. Give it a check. If this seems like something that I would watch with Bird, then I'll probably watch it with him, because he likes, you know, like urban, cool, you know, character-focused type shows. Like K is his favorite anime. I don't know if this is anything like that, because obviously visually it doesn't seem very similar. Them hair curls. Oh, he got a big head. Alright, so he's a big apology boy. They're calling him old guy? Fucking 12-year-olds hanging out on... Oh. Was that his car? No, okay, there. I see. I was like, what? How would he... Living in a crappy apartment, treated like a moron. Punks are picking a fight with me, and I'm apologizing. And he's a damn virgin. Alright, I think we can kick this up to 4 times. He's gonna get killed. This would be perfect at like 3.5 speed. I really wish there was a 3.5 option. It's exactly where I'd like to be, and I'd be like, this is perfect pacing. I just got $5 from Aladorn. Arigato gozaimasu. Please rant about my least favorite anime. Miss Koizumi loves ramen noodles. I hate it so much. The repetitive music, the unlikable characters, etc. Alright, we'll put a pin in this for a second and go check that out as well, because that sounds like fun. I've seen other shows that I assume are similar to this. Well, actually, is this like a whole... Oh, this is a whole ass show. I assumed this was going to be like some short, like, what's it called? The one where Miyuki Sawashiro, god damn. What? Did I just say like Sao Oshiri? Like her name is Saw Ass? I like the ramen in the OP. So far that's the only thing. This reminds me a lot of, what was it called, like Pan de Pan or whatever. Not, I feel like I'm confusing Panel de Pan with an anime. It was Pan de something. It was a show about girls with bread, and like they worked in a bakery and they ate a lot of bread, and it had a very similar kind of art style to this. This seems pretty fucking boring so far. Okay, let's skip, like, get to the fucking ramen, for God's sake. Alright, there we go. Well, she's wolfing it down. Okay. Yeah? I want that. It looks pretty delicious. Okay. Is there more ramen? I'm here just for the ramen. I don't care about any of these girls. Ooh. Do they, like, review the ramen? I guess she's kind of explaining it. She's into the horse oil. Well, see, this is content. This, at least, is... If you just took a segment like this and clipped this as a YouTube video, I think I could show this to Bird, and he'd be like, yeah, alright, I learned something about ramen from... I hesitate to call them cute anime girls, but, you know, they're as cute as they need to be, I guess. More ramen. Ah. Well, I can't say that I hate this as much as you seem to. I understand the complaint, though. Like, this seems incredibly fucking bland. And, like, the ramen it's way too brief. Like, I keep skipping through, and then I'm like, all right, ramen. And then it's gone, and I'm like, okay, well, now to skip through another 6 minutes. I can't believe this is a 22-minute show for 12 whole episodes. That just seems like a complete overreach and a waste. JNES with $4.99. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. During high school, what was the ratio of time you spent between watching anime, writing blog posts about anime, and doing other hobbies? Oh boy. Okay. Great question. So, start of high school. So I had a complicated high school experience because I started. My family lived in a place called Chesterfield that's out near Richmond, and I was actually going to a pretty nice high school at first for like a couple weeks, and then I transferred, and we lived in inner city Richmond, and I went to a ghetto high school for about 6 months, and then I transferred again to a fairly normal high school. I guess by my standard, having grown up in Virginia Beach, I went back to Virginia Beach, and I went to a high school that was normal to me. I've heard a lot of people call my school ghetto, but I think that there's people who just think that if black people are at a place that makes it ghetto, which is not the case. It's very different when you actually live in an inner city school. But, whatever. The school I ended up going to, I met people who were anime fans there who I could hang out with and talk about it. I had Japanese classes there, and I really got heavily into anime again in the 10th grade. So it's like I'd been into anime in middle school, and then I'd kind of gotten out of it because I had no money through which to purchase anime anymore. I didn't have consistent internet access for a while. So it just I couldn't afford to have anime as a hobby. I got really into music because I had a bunch of it downloaded on my computer that my cousin had put there. This is all fucking extraneous detail. Anyway, point being that when I was in 10th grade, I got back into anime hardcore through Haruhi. And for a lot of 2007, it was just I was marathoning anime and then talking about it on forums. But I didn't share deep thoughts about shows or anything like that. It was just kind of here's my list of my favorites, and I've got a couple sentences to say about them. But but I would wake up. Oftentimes I would wake up a few hours before school starts so that I could watch 3 episodes of anime before going to school. And then I would watch 3 episodes on my brother's computer that had internet access before he got home, because I didn't want people to see me watching moe anime, because I didn't know how to explain it. So I was watching Manabi Straight and Hidamari Sketch and stuff like that early 2007, and in a sort of veil of secrecy in a few episodes at a time. And then later that year, my brother's computer ended up in my room, and I started watching anime all the time on his computer, and basically I was still very shy about the fact that I was watching very feminine shows, but since it was in my room, it was a lot easier for me to just pause if people were around. But I was watching a lot of anime throughout 2007, and it was through that I found out of the Mega Tokyo forums. A lot of people on there had anime blogs, so I started one myself, and that would have been in 10th grade. But I was very sporadic with my posting back then, because I would just get depressed and really up in my head about how I didn't know how to express what was so good about the stuff I liked. It was always just this struggle of, I don't feel like I'm going to be able to do it justice, so it was easier to talk about stuff I just kind of liked. And I would get go months without posting sometimes, just out of sheer getting stuck in my head about what I wanted to write. But then in 2009 was when I really had a renaissance on the blog. So, because like late 2008, I had gotten to know other anime bloggers like Ghost Lightning and Otosan, and particularly there was this site called Oi Hayaku where this guy had like organized a bunch of the best anime writers in the space to have like a blog we all did together and trying to get more eyeballs on it and generate hype for it. And so I managed to get myself to be a part of that, and that was a place where I was able to be mentored by a lot of people who were better writers than me. And so, like, when I went into 11th grade, I was initially really intent on doing well in school, but things kind of got fucked up right at the start of the year, and I just completely lost interest and spent the rest of the year, like, sleeping through class, reading lots of manga, and at some point I just started writing my blog through class. So I spent more time writing my anime blog at school than doing schoolwork by the time I was in senior year, in particular. Like, I spent most of senior year just, like, any class I could get away with it, I was writing blog posts. There were days I would write 3 posts in school before I got home, transcribe them all when I got home, you know, and then write another one or watch another show before I went to bed. So it was all I was doing for a while. And like the first time I ever had a really crazy posting spree was like, I think 60 posts in a month or something like that in the month of February 2009, I think. And that was where I was literally posting like 3 times a day and just covering everything that I possibly could figure out how to write about. And I developed a lot of the styles that I ended up using on the channel in that period, like a lot of the approaches I took to analysis. So, yeah, I would say if we're talking about particularly high school senior year, that's all I was doing, was writing about anime, not paying attention in class. Butthole Weeb with $5. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Hope this helps out for your financials. For my rant, give me a real take on Nia under 7, because it's low-key boss, except I hated Nia, lol. Yeah, she's a brat. I think she's meant to test your patience and empathy, because, like, you know, she's automatically sympathetic in her situation, but, like, having the personality be repellent to that sympathy, I think makes it more powerful in its messaging. I haven't watched Nia Under 7 in a very long time, but I've watched a couple videos about it. I think you had a video about it. And, you know, so I've reflected on it a little bit. It's probably the ultimate show about broke college ennui, and I think I will understand it a lot more now that I've been in actual poor financial situation of my own doing. Like, it's one thing to have parts of my upbringing where my family was poor, but that wasn't because of me or under my control, you know? And so, like, it's a, you know, I have a different perspective on that whole aspect of life that I could probably take to that show. I'm definitely interested in rewatching it and doing a video on it. I said in my Haibane Renmei video that when that one reaches 50k, Nia Under 7 would be the stretch goal for it. I do believe all of the Anime Alphabet videos unquestionably will reach 50,000 views. It's just a matter of time. You know, they all actually are at like 20,000 area, which is pretty good. It means that none of them stopped growing, which is really nice. And so as long as that remains true, like, you know, my goal has been, like, take these classic shows that people are always going to be searching for, people will always want to find a video about, and try to have one of the biggest, best, most perspective fulfilling videos on that thing, you know? And so, I think with Eureka 7, that's where I'm going to fulfill that goal the most that I ever have. But, you know, even still, like, I know there's going to be, I really think that me doing this big Eureka 7 video will actually inspire other people to do even bigger ones, because there will be people who won't like my analysis and therefore will want to have their own super in-depth Eureka 7 thing that, you know, that contradicts mine in one way or another. So that'll be fun to see if that happens. Stripes with $5. Domo arigato gozaimasu. I'm really curious about your recent World Masterpiece Theater faves on your Mal. Will you make a video about them in the future? Heidi is my favorite. I think you might not be following my Mal, because I don't have World Masterpiece Theater faves. My name is the_golden_witch on my anime list. if you are following somebody named Digibro, that is somebody who name sniped me the second that I stopped using that name, which, you know, I'm not using it, but yeah, that's not me. So if you follow the_golden_witch, my current top 10 on Mal is Sangatsu no Lion, Neon Genesis Evangelion, K-On!, Ponyo, Log Horizon, Shirobako, Yu Yu Hakusho, The Legend of the Galactic Heroes, Hunter x Hunter. I don't know why I have this on the other screen when I could just have this on the screen I'm actually streaming. But yeah, this is my Mal page. And yeah, here's all the information. So like, World Masterpiece Theater shows that I have actually seen. I don't even think Future Boy Conan's part of it, and I've only seen 3 episodes of that. But I saw the first episode of Trap Family Ika. I've seen the first episode of Nobody's Boy Remy. Let's go look at a list of the World Masterpiece. I don't think I've seen any of them. Unfortunately, they tend to be very slow and very sad, and it's just a genre that's difficult for me. I think I'd have an easier time probably with everybody tells me that I need to watch Anne of Green Gables specifically. It's been recommended to me tons of times, but it's also one of those things that I've kind of been saving for that day when like I really need it. Let's see. I've read the Dororo manga. I haven't seen the anime. I've seen the first episode of Rascal the Raccoon because I made the video about it. Swiss Family Robinson. No, I didn't watch that, did I? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think I've seen a single one of these, unfortunately. It's a hole in my anime viewing. True Fox 1 with $5. Domo arigato gozaimasu. What kind of psychological assessment would you have for someone who primarily likes children's cartoons like Digimon / Pokemon / Beyblade / Yu-Gi-Oh! Etc.? I mean, a lot of those, I guess it depends on what your engagement is with them, because I know tons of adults who are into those things because of the game elements, and that there's like a high skill ceiling and familiarity, and the fact that everybody knows them. Like, there's always going to be people you can play those things with because they're so popular and enduring, and multi-generational. So like, it's something that you can, you know, stay with throughout your life. And like, particularly Pokemon, I know tons and tons of adults my age who are into Pokemon. Like, it's and like, me and my friends all have, like, a couple months ago, my friends all went through a big Beyblade craze where Bird and Riley and Mint, well, it was really mostly Bird and Riley who were obsessing over Beyblades for a couple days. We ended up buying a bunch of Beyblades in a Bay Stadium and playing with them and stuff. I absolutely get down for Yu-Gi-Oh! Any day of the week. So yeah, I think it's just like familiarity. They were good. Like, you know, the generation before mine is obsessed with Transformers and like Ninja Turtles and stuff like that. And a lot of the time, like, it's not until that stuff kind of gets rebooted and brought to them again that they enjoy it again. I think Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, I don't know Beyblade's anime that well, but like, those are actually good shows that you can just go back and rewatch and still enjoy. And like, you know, I don't think that they're like infantilizing the way that most like, when we think children's cartoons, especially American children cartoons, Digimon a little bit more so than Pokemon, in my opinion, which I realize might be a controversial statement considering that Digimon is like way darker thematically, but I think the way it's written is like more patronizing, whereas Pokemon is like sarcastic and kind of sly. And Yu-Gi-Oh! Is you know, is fucked. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is just batshit insanity. It's not really it's a kid's show, but not a children's show. Like, Pokemon and Beyblade are for children. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is for young people. Like, it's a little bit much for the under 10s, I think. But yeah, that would be my best guess and explanation. Butthole Weeb with $5. Domo arigato gozaimasu says, Perin Monogatari low-key best world masterpiece theater show, but we should just do a Nia Under 7 podcast. Lol. We could absolutely do that. Beyblade looks like trash, but it's fun to watch. I would bet. I like the villain from Beyblade that's voiced by, fuck is his name? Takahito Koyasu. He looks cool. Alright, we're gonna keep watching Tokyo Revengers. At 4 times speed, I remind. What studio did this again? Should I just... I'll just look it up. Oh, this is a shonen, weekly shonen magazine adaptation. Okay. That contextualizes it a little bit for me. It's from Leiden Films. Surprised the stream isn't taken down. We're watching it at 4 times speed. They can't detect that shit. Yeah, like, I mean, this is how I get past copyright a lot of the time, is just by speeding up the footage. I mean, the VOD might get dropped for all I know. I don't know how easy it is for it to detect 4 times sped up footage, but this hardly resembles the show. Especially if I keep doing this. This will definitely get it. Maybe this is the key for editing my videos, is that I just need to screen record and then fucking constantly scroll up and down. Would you watch this if my videos were constantly metronoming the footage? It's a little difficult to read the subtitles while doing that. So this definitely seems like cute boys show. Like, this is a show about cute boys being cuties or something. That's just the vibe I'm getting. Cute boys in big pants. Aldorn with $2. Rant about everything everywhere all at once. I still haven't seen it yet. I might try. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see it tomorrow. I thought about it. Me and Bird were planning to do it today if we didn't have to do something else, and we ended up having to do the other thing. And so we said we might do it tomorrow, but we might have to do other things tomorrow also. So maybe Sunday. But I definitely want to see that movie. I haven't yet. I was asked about it on the previous stream, and I was talking about how I wanted to see it because of the fact that YMS gave it such high praise, and you know, like, I mean, I'd heard good things about it from other people, but when I heard it's a movie that looks like too good to be true, like it looks too much like my thing for it to be real, and so for me to hear that it's also very good is like, oh wow. And so I need to see it. This is not 2 times speed, this is 4 times speed, my friend. And yeah, I can keep up with this speed fairly well, but that's just because this show is very slow. Like, this 4 times speed was a lot harder when we were trying to watch Ping Pong earlier, but this is not giving me trouble. Also, I vaguely understand Japanese, so it helps. The audio does help me in a way where, like, I don't have to pay as much attention. But, I don't know, these subs aren't going by that quickly to me. What the fuck? He traveled through time? This is not where I was expecting this show to go. Okay, I don't even actually know what this show is going to be like because it seemed like it totally twisted and swerved at the end of the episode. So, I guess this is 24 episodes long. Okay, well, I will. That seems like a show that I would have an easier time with the manga if the manga is good, just because it felt very slow because I was watching it at 4 times speed and I still felt like I was not that engaged with it, and like uh like just not that impressive visually, like it looked fine but nothing that like makes me think, oh, I'd rather watch this as an anime than just like blast through it if it's a decent manga. Zarar Khan with 179 pound. Opinions on storytelling in Naruto and Bleach. Interesting. Naruto strikes me as very unplanned, as a manga that was, following the influence from Dragon Ball and traditional shonen manga, just kind of like, all right, I think he had a very strong idea of the character and the tone of it and everything. Hold on, I'm going to put the Eureka 7 OST back on. Or actually, let's listen to the fucking Naruto OST since we're talking about Naruto. Okay, collection. Yeah. Naruto main theme. Yeah, there we go. Anyways, Naruto, it's because it starts off like with just episodic stories at first, and then it has like really short arcs, and then it goes into the Chunin exams, and that feels to me very like editor said, okay, here's what we're gonna do, like type arc, I think Naruto is probably very guided by like editor assistants to keep it going as long as humanly possible. It doesn't seem like something that Masashi Kishimoto was interested in doing as long as he did, but was interested in making the amount of money and having the empire that the series had. So I don't know, there's elements of it that like can't help but be good because obviously he's a talented creator, and had lots of cool ideas for a time, but like I've never been interested to pick it back up and finish it, like I was really into the manga when I first started reading it when I was 12. It was my favorite for like a while, and as it got into the Chunin exams, even at that sort of early point, to me it felt like it was losing the like core flavor. Like it was just introducing too much and kind of diluting itself for me. But that's like the part that I got the most popular at, and I also didn't make it to like the best fights in that arc. So now Bleach, on the other hand, I actually think is up to the point that I have read really strong, and I made it to close to the end of the Arrancar arc. So I didn't actually finish that arc or get into the stuff after that, which I've always heard is where Bleach sort of really drops off. But I think Bleach is impossible to read weekly. I think reading it week to week will kill the experience for you. And I was doing it for like a couple of months after I'd caught up to it. And it's just like, in 20 pages, nothing fucking happens in Bleach. Like, but that's fine because when you read the whole thing at once, it's paced so fast that it feels like you're watching a movie that just happens to be kind of long, or like a series of films, where like you read one fight scene all in one go and the dramatic pacing of it is perfect, but it's just decompressed to such an extreme that like 20 pages isn't enough to really get you that far through something. So I think Bleach is probably, more than any other manga, like something that really needs to be marathoned, that just trying to keep up with it while it's happening is what will ruin it for you. And obviously it's over now, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, I could see myself rereading and finishing Bleach. I will also eventually do Naruto, at least the anime, so I can talk about it in a video. But or maybe I'll do manga. I still haven't figured out how I'm ever going to approach manga, but we'll see one day. Gary always with $2. Domo arigatou gozaimasu says, I wish I didn't know how much YouTube's cut was. Me either. But you know, you can always contribute to my Patreon or my Substack, or send me money through PayPal, or through you know, PayPal would be, I think the email is still digitalboyreviews@gmail.com, but you know, Venmo, Cash App, I'm at Golden Witchfire. So yeah, there's always other avenues through which to throw that dosh around. But yeah, YouTube does take like a third of everything, whether it be super chat or ad revenue. They take a big cut, but it's still where I'm making the most money right now. So you know, it's the system of convenience, and it's I'm willing to take the convenience fee, basically, for the fact that it just makes it so much easier for people to instantly donate to the stream and contribute something, you know, in what they say to it. Andrew Engelman says, Naruto actually was planned, but there was a lot of executive meddling, from what I know at least. The author wanted to have an arc delving into each of the ninja in Naruto's year, and then they made him do a tournament arc after the Zabuza arc. That makes sense. Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like. It's like, it just, a lot of shonen manga give you that feeling of like, you get to just certain arcs and you're like, okay, the editor said we're doing this thing now, you know, because a lot of the shonen manga, they really do just start off as like episodic adventures that are just like whatever the 10 cool ideas the artist had for that thing are, and then they, you know, hit a dead end and it's like, okay, this manga's not going anywhere, you know. Yes, my name Golden Witch is a reference to Umineko. I named my band Trial of the Golden Witch back in 2011. And then I became the Golden Witch eventually. This fucking Naruto soundtrack is jamming as fuck. I'll tell you right now, I haven't seen Terror in Resonance in a long time, so I'm not going to review that, but I do have Cowboy Bebop videos coming very soon. I mentioned it in my Eureka 7 series announcement, but I am going to launch a series comparing Cowboy Bebop against the live-action version. I can actually show you the audio, because I haven't finished editing the audio of this first episode, but I have it recorded. I don't think I finished editing this audio. Maybe I did. Oh shit, I did. That's right. I just haven't exported. Oh, I did export it. I'm an idiot. This is an hour and 36 minutes of just analyzing the first episodes of Cowboy Bebop, the original versus the live action. So I'm going to try to have that out this month. Gary Oles with $2. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. I'm happy and don't need my fairy godparents anymore. Amazing. Is that what makes it so you can't use them as being happy? 'Cause that's funny. Bird has been rewatching Fairly Odd Parents because it's on Netflix. I only ever saw little bits of it growing up. It seems to me like very fetishy. Like, it seems to me like the point of it is that Vicky is like meant to give you some kind of weird sexual hang-ups later in life or something. Maybe that's just my tendency to read sex into everything. Alright, this Naruto OST is like actually too good, and I'm kind of getting lost in it. So I gotta find something else to watch or do. Let's see what happens if I click random. Oh, it's all-purpose cat girl Nuku Nuku. I've never actually seen this. I've been curious about it. I know a lot of people really like it. There's like a whole character in Undertale about this show. Oh, I like this song at 4 times speed. Yeah, oh, he's pissing in the rain, or pissing in the snow. Maybe Hazel made a video about this recently or something. I definitely remember seeing that pissing in the snow clip in a video I watched. This is really nice to look at, this show. True Fox won with $5. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. At one point, Digibro ranted about burning bridges. What are Trixie's thoughts on burning bridges? You know, sometimes it's what you have to do. I think you should never really set out with the intention of burning bridges with people, but sometimes it's better to be completely sure that someone is out of your life. Not that anybody ever truly is, unless they're dead. And even then, they're not truly out of your life, you know, mentally. But, you know, you can put distance between yourself and people. The show is so detailed. He just fucking put out his cigarette on her hand, didn't he? So she like can't feel pain, I take it. So far, I'm thinking Catgirl Nuku Nuku is an icon. Also, that was some fucking moves. Holy shit. This is giving me strong Project Echo vibes, for sure. But more on the cutesy side, and less on the like tongue-in-cheek side. JNES with $4.99. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. I'm having trouble recently with waking up and instantly going back to sleep, so thanks for motivating me with the recent productivity. Absolutely. You know, I've been motivating myself to also not have that problem, actually, because for a while there, I was setting myself alarms that would start at like 9 and then go like every 15 minutes until 12, and I would make it all the way to 12. Like, I would straight up hit ignore on 12 alarms that go off every 15 minutes through the morning because I was just feeling unclear in direction for a while, you know? And then at some point, I really just kind of locked into, like, I just need to make as much fucking money as possible and get a place, and then I can start thinking about other shit after that's taken care of. So, you know, that's what motivated me to be like, all right, grind set. When that first alarm goes off, I get out of bed because I'm already paranoid that I've, you know, got to start working right now or else I'm not going to have enough time to finish. Like, that's the mindset. Is like, oh shit, I slept through 2 alarms and now it's already 8, you know, that's a whole hour I could have been editing that I don't have, or an hour I could have been recording or whatever. So yeah, trying to look at it that way. Audrey Rogers with $5. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Speaking of Fairly Odd Parents, Butch Hartman did an awful drawing of Mikasa as a commission and got dragged for it. I feel like I've seen that before, but I'm gonna go look it up just so we can all decide how we feel. Oh, is it this? I mean, the face is not great. The body is mostly fine. I think if you just lowered the mouth, it wouldn't be so weird. It just makes it look like her chin is fucking huge. But, like, would this be that hard to fix? Let's see if we can... Like, I don't feel like this should be that difficult to make okay. I feel like the mouth is just too high up, right? Let's find out. We're going to use our expert image editing software in order to rethink this picture. Okay. Let me move my software onto the screen. All right. Software. Okay. Picture. All right. Now, you see how this one, ample space between nose and mouth. This one, not quite as much. So let's just go ahead, take that mouth, lower it to something that seems more normal, and then fill in. And now, it doesn't really seem that shitty. He just needed to put the mouth a little bit lower. It's not that bad. But let's Control Z this back to where we had. Ugh. That makes a huge difference. A huge difference. Art. It's not easy. I think it's less that he traced it, more than he copied by eye. Yeah, for sure. He didn't trace it. Like, it's not even close to the same. Like, look at the shoulder. Look at the, it's just, he wanted to do a fan art of a fan art. And he ended up with fucking the mouth a little bit too bad. It's just a little shitty. A little too shitty. Yeah, the Project Echo vibes are definitely strong with this. You're saying... Okay, I saw somebody saying that if you don't see the animation at the intended rhythm, it's not the same. But the rhythm is the same. It's just proportionally faster. I mean, I understand. Tonally, it gives you a different feeling. But I don't think it's difficult to appreciate what that feeling is, seeing it at this speed. Like, you don't have to necessarily feel it to recognize what it's doing. And be like, oh yeah. Like, this show would obviously be enjoyable at regular speed. I don't think it needs to be watched sped up at all. But it's also really enjoyable at 4 times speed. Like, if I'm not being clear, I like this approximately 1,000 times more than the first episode of Tokyo Revengers that we watched at 4 times speed. I might even like this more than the first episode of Ping Pong that we were watching at 4 times speed. Because this is like that kind of... They clearly made this thinking that you were going to watch it 100,000 fucking times. Like, this is an anime that they made thinking whoever watches this is going to watch this 100,000 fucking times. And so we're going to make it like that was the case. And I think because of that, you could watch it that many times. Eldorm with $2. Arigatou gozaimasu, itashimasu. You played Friday Night Funkin'. Thoughts? I've never even heard of that, so we're gonna have to look that up now. I don't really buy that you can retain what you're watching at 4 times the way you would at like 2 or 1.5. Why not? I mean, obviously not. I can't retain anything I saw in that just now other than the images. Like, I have no idea what the plot was because I wasn't reading the subtitles. I was reading the chat. But, like, with Tokyo Revengers, it was not difficult to take in what was happening at 4 times speed, even when not completely paying attention. I couldn't plot summarize it for you right now. It's not on that level, but I didn't feel like I didn't feel like I couldn't go into episode 2 without having rewatched episode 1 of that show. Whereas this one, I would definitely want to rewatch it, you know. I think something taking less of your time inherently means it'll have less permanence in your brain. You can, of course, comprehend it while you're watching it. Now, that's true. But I also don't want this. Like, I don't want most of the stuff I watch at high speed to be taking up space in my brain. I want it to be in and out as quickly as possible. You give me something to say about it, and I'll move on. You know, I'm not trying to retain, you know, every image from Senpai ga Uzai. Like, as much as I put into my video is as much of it as I will ever need to remember happened, in my opinion. Whereas, like, Eureka 7 is a show that I watched at regular speed all the way through, and now I'm going back and rewatching it at 4 times speed as I write about it. Well, actually, 3 times speed as I write about it, because 4 times is a little too fast to even keep up with that show. But, you know, 3 times I can actually understand what's happening more easily because all the information comes one after another instead of, you know, the dramatic, like, the way that shows are paced to have like natural conversations means you get threads of information that you're kind of pulling together. But if you happen to miss one thing, it can be really difficult to figure out like the whole picture of what's happening. Whereas if you watch it sped up, it's like all the information's hitting you one after another, and you're like, oh, okay, I understand what the scene is. You know, sometimes I also go back and rewatch it a 3rd time, but you know, it all depends on how dense it is. Adam Fabian with $5. Domo arigato gozaimasu. General career rant. Current state, future direction, what things falling apart, what things coming together, what's working / not working. All right, let's just go ahead and fucking go right. Let's let YouTube tell us. Actually, well, I don't want to show all my analytics. But things are looking good for my channel. YouTube says it's because I've been uploading so much. The explicit instructions it says in my YouTube backroom is your views are up because you've been uploading more frequently, your videos are getting pushed to more people. Looking at the actual view counts, let's go into it. So I would say, okay, this is pretty much where I started the channel back up, we'll say. Because around here, this is where I had taken down everything that existed before. This is where when I did the whole Digibro's dead, I'm taking down all of the content, and you know, it's all going to be private. And then eventually I slowly relisted everything that I felt I could just, you know, say was Trixie content. Fuck it. Like, this is stuff I would still stand by. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not, you know, it's not representative of an identity that I don't stand for anymore. Some of the opinions might not be, or some of the life details might be irrelevant, but hey, the videos are old. People would expect that stuff to change anyways, so it's no big deal. You know, I just don't want anything up that, like, outright, if someone watches this, they're going to have the wrong idea about who I am or what I do, you know? The closest things that get to that are still up are probably, like, the old SAO videos and the how to recognize a terrible anime in just one episode. Like, that's a video I wouldn't make today, but it still gets me so many fucking views. There's just no way I can take it down. It carries the channel sometimes. It's just too financially irresponsible to get rid of. But, and it's still a good video. It's very entertaining. I don't, like, disagree with it. It's not a video I'd make today. But yeah, around here is where I was, like, starting to try to, you know, do it. Like, I made this K-On! Video and initially I got, like, no views. So this having 24K is good. That means it's getting views, like, retroactively. This March comes in, like, a Lion video, didn't do anything. You know, these couple of posts that were adapted from my Substack articles are also now starting to get views, but really hadn't at the time. And then I launched Anime Alphabet here. So, like, every Anime Alphabet video that I've made, I have hoped is just going to rocket to 50K right away. Because they're all videos that I know have every reason to be able to make 50,000 views. Like, there's no reason that they can't achieve that other than that my channel isn't, being pushed to people for them to see the videos. So how do I get my channel to be pushed to people so they see the videos? That is the current methodology. And it seems as though putting out tons and tons of videos is the best way to get that done. That's what YouTube likes. So, these videos, these first 3 came out not too long away apart from each other. Like, it wasn't a whole month in between them the way it would be for later ones, but none of them blew up immediately. So it was like, okay, it's cool that these like are doing okay, and I know they're going to do well in the long run, but I need something to hit now. And Digimon was actually has been the least successful, which was the biggest surprise to me, because this was the one I most thought people were going to be excited about from me. I don't really know why. I guess just because I used to know a lot of people who were really into Digimon, but most of those people don't really watch me anymore. So I thought like some of my friends and stuff who old friends who know Digimon would promote it, but nobody did. So, and then the Evangelion one, is doing okay. I think that's actually the most successful other than Attack Number 1. But yeah, this High Guardian Spice video was the biggest like comeback video I made, where it got like 20,000 views inside of like a day. It kind of reconstructed the narrative of like, making sure people understand that I am like continuing from where I left off, that like, hey, if you remember me from like 2018, here's how things are different, and here's what I'm back, and here's what I'm doing going forward, like. So this drew in a lot of older fans who, were looking for my updated opinion. And then this Why Trans People Love Toho video also did pretty decently well, and still gets views because Toho is relevant and trans stuff is relevant. Fullmetal Alchemist didn't do as well as I hoped. We Have Forgotten Love's done decently. And this is where I basically got into the mindset that, like, what I need to do is like re-reference the older content that people remember that's gone, so that there's an explanation for why it's gone, particularly the We Have Accepted Mediocrity video, and have something to replace it that's equally like broad concept and would mean something to anybody who'd see it. I'm really happy with the way that the Ginga AU Densetsu video is done so far. This Attack on Titan, I was like, hey, the new season started. I'll make a video about the first episode because I have some stuff to say about it. And if it does really well, I'll make a video about every episode. And it didn't do very well, so I didn't make a video about every episode. I Hate Digibro. This is the most successful video I have done this past year, I think. Yeah, since the fucking stupid Ralph video, this is the most successful one I've done. And again, it was built off of the same philosophy of, okay, well, the High Guardian Spice video was successful, We Have Forgotten Love was successful, let's keep doing this thing where we try to reconnect the identity to the new one and really make it clear to people where I'm going now. So this was like the biggest stopgap possible. Of like, I'm just going to go into everything that I can think of that people might, have a question about. So very happy with the performance of that. This Diddy Kong Racing video didn't do that great. Haibane Renmei is really not done very great as anime alphabets go. And the Inuyasha video actually doesn't have that many views either. I haven't really been able to think of a good title for this. I think that's kind of holding this one back. I love this Sesshomaru thumbnail, though. That can't be the issue. The Sarkistas Ring video actually did more views than I would have thought, and I think that's mostly because I was marketing it as like a faux Elden Ring video. And then these Elden Ring videos did shit views, and this was where I really shifted my mentality, because these took a lot of time and effort and thought and were really fun and gratifying, but they got so few views that I was like, well, I can't continue the series until the channel is healed. Like, these videos can't underperform if I'm going to keep making them. So I had a moment of awakening of like, I just need to crank out videos. Like, that's the only thing that's ever saved me before. It's the only thing that ever seems to do well is when I just crank them out. And so it just happened that the season was ending. So I went and started cranking videos out. And the most successful one is, of course, fucking not up right now, but it's the Mushoku Tensei fucking giving it another shot video, which has 34,000 views. And so my mentality basically has been, I'm throwing darts at the board. Like, I'm just trying to see what's going to work. I'm just going to keep doing shit until something pops. And then as soon as something pops, I'm going to focus in on that and drill it into the ground. So, you know, the Dress Up Darling video did pretty okay right away by the standards of my videos, you know, currently. And so I went right into, okay, let's do more seasonals. So I did Love of Kill. And then people are always telling me they want me to do general concept videos. So I tried to do that with this anime fans video, which has ended up being a great channel trailer. More seasonals. And then, you know, Ninja Scroll was already planned for Anime Alphabet. That did pretty okay. I thought this was going to get no fucking views. Summer Ghost is like, this is something that just came out and I know is going to keep getting more popular. So as more people discover this movie, this video will get more views. Sexual Exhaustion and World's End Harem. This one has done really well, considering that I didn't think anybody would care about this show, but this is just pure strong title thumbnail game. Disappointed with the Agretzko video's reception so far, because this is a very popular show. I don't know if it's just not popular with my audience, but I really poured my fucking heart and soul into this script, because it's all about like how like this show. This was a hard script for me to write because of the fact that it's about how all of my insecurities are present in this show, and I really didn't want to have to address my insecurities like that. So yeah. And then I've got a couple more just fun things. And when the Mushoku Tensei video was, you know, successful, then I of course immediately followed it up with another one. The Spy Family fucking video has another upload with like what was it, 15,000 views or something on, I don't remember. I know there's a version of this that had significantly more. But anyway, yeah. Senpai Gauzai. So like basically right now, I guess what I'd say is doing the best on my channel is either talking about like random seasonal shows that I have a really out there take on, like this World's End Harem video. I think is just nobody was expecting someone to have these things to say about this show. So that's the biggest, like, you know, booster there. With Mushoku Tensei, it's just that it's a show I knew was really big with the people who watch my videos, because it's been talked about in my circles incessantly for the last 2 years. So I figured that was like a sure bet. And it was. I'm surprised how few people care about the JoJo video. I thought JoJo would be a lot more popular with my audience. So basically, I think as I've been covering these shows this month, I'm trying to figure out like what is the taste of the people who care about my channel the most. And I definitely think Eureka 7 is getting closer. But when I ran that poll for Anime Alphabet L and Lucky Star blew everything else away, that kind of gave me an indication that like people want me to talk about Moe. Like people want me to talk about, you know, like the I don't know. People want me to talk about Lucky Star. They probably would like other stuff along those lines. Who knows? I don't even know if there's anything else in that genre that as many people would care about as Lucky Star. But that seems like it will be a surefire hit video. So I went over like most of my plans for upcoming content in this video, the best original coming of age series. Towards the back end, I talk about how I'm going to go back and finish the Log Horizon series. Me and Bird have been watching Little Witch Academia and really enjoying that, so I'll probably do a video about it at some point. And I've got these Bebop videos that I already talked about. Alright, I've got a couple other super chats I gotta get to. I was answering that for a long time. The non-binary neckbeard with $5. Domo arigato gozaimasu. What are your thoughts on Samurai Jack? Oh man, so when Samurai Jack came out, I thought it was the absolute shit. I saw the you know, the premiere 3-episode like movie thing right when it came out, and like I had come off of just watching like Ninja Scroll. You know, I sort of touch on this in the Ninja Scroll video that there's an episode of Samurai Jack that references it that I felt very cultured to understand, because it had only been like 6 months since I'd seen Ninja Scroll. But like, just the fact that it used oil instead of blood for killing the robots was so genius, because for me as a kid, like, I wasn't ready to handle like that level of violence, but just like seeing it displayed so artfully and with, you know, with the edge kind of taken out, drew me in big time. I can still, in my head right now, I'm like watching that scene of him fighting all the beetles, like the beetle robots. I can see it in my mind's eye. And that show made Genndy Tartakovsky the first name that I recognized in the animation industry, because he had also, I believe, created Dexter's Laboratory, and he would later create the Clone Wars short series, which ended up being like a Emmy Award winner, Grammy, whatever the one is, Academy Award winner, for like best TV miniseries or whatever. And yeah, that was really good. And so like Tartakovsky was I think that's how you pronounce his name. He was the first person in animation that I really took an interest in for the unique aesthetic style he brought to Samurai Jack, of, you know, using no outlines and just the slaving over the background arts and everything. I think for me it ended up being a mixed bag, because I really loved all the action stuff. I didn't vibe with the show's sense of humor at all. So all the episodes that would be about like dog people and stuff, anytime it got funny, I didn't think it was that funny. And so yeah, I definitely struggled with some of that. Although I love the Scotsman episodes, those are hilarious. But that's like action comedy. I think it does action comedy really well. The more like, maybe I'd like it more now, all the weird like tense comedy in the show, all the like dry, just like characters staring at each other. But yeah, I wasn't that into that as a kid, and I haven't seen the final season yet. Awesome Adam with $5. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Have you or Bird used a volcano yet? I have one and don't use it much. Would make me happy to know you're getting good use out of it, so would consider mailing. I don't even know what that is, but it sounds like something I want. Let's look it up. I assume that it is some kind of smoking device. So, weed? I totally misspelled volcano. Volcano vaporizer. Oh, this looks sick. Okay.
What's good, my people? It's your boy Iwan. You're not watching.
I mean, I would definitely use this if you sent it to me. This is the kind of shit I would want to bring around Riley. Like, this is the shit that me and Bird will show up to Riley and Mid's house with, and be doing it all fucking weekend. Unfortunately, this, even if you mailed it, it wouldn't show up in time for, because we're gonna go on the 12th to visit them on our way to going to WATP Live in Nashville. So I will be in Nashville on the 14th. I don't know if I'll be in town like enough to do anything other than the show I'm going to, though. So. Yeah, this looks cool as fuck. Honestly, like, I mean, I'm terrified at the thought of trying to hit a fucking thing that big, but I assume it's like cooled and like I assume it's easier on your lungs than just like hitting a normal bong. Now I want to fucking do a bong hit, god damn it. I got the shit for it, so I probably will. True Fox 1, $5. Any thoughts on No Keen, the cute girl moe thing mixed with a traditional isekai made for a fun show? IMO, the opening is lit. Which one is No Keen? Oh, this one. This girl is so fucking cute. I definitely want to enjoy this show. I think I tried to watch the first episode and didn't get into it, but I can't even remember. I can't actually remember what happens. Oh, the subs are in a language I don't speak or read. Oh god. This is the entire show dubbed. Oh, the audio sounds like it's in a tin can. Alright. Yeah. Oh, that's adorable. I mean, the fucking girl is really cute. I don't know about this music. The bass is fucking out of control in that song. Not in a good way. Alright, I just need a scene. Ugh, fucking just. Some buff dragons. Un simple humain stat utilisir to face erreur. Un met la gomme? I can't tell what language this is. Si vous êtes tra. Okay, it's French. Ma vie entente que Misato Kurihara. Is this a spoiler? Like, should I not be showing this to people? 120%! Oh no. Alright, well that's definitely gonna get me claimed if it got them claimed, so I'm gonna be more careful with that. That's so fucking funny. Cute girl Moe thing makes a traditional isekai made for fun show. I will check it out. I'll give it a shot. I wanna check out every time I deliberately watch an isekai, I feel like, you know, it really is just easy mode for, like, I don't know, I feel like way too metatextually involved, I guess. Like, it's like going down, it's like meeting your family. It's like going to your family's house, you know? Like going back to your parents' place or something. It's like a lot of mixed bag of feelings of like, oh, this is comfortable, this is familiar. It's also lame and shitty and exactly the same experience I've been having since I was a fucking child, you know? So, like, it's a double-edged sword. It can be comforting sometimes, but, you know, there can be too much. And last month, I got to pretty much write... Assassin Isekai took me up to, okay, I'm done. Like, I did Mushoku Tensei. That was fun. I ended up kind of liking it. It was alright. I talked about other isekais, and then I was like, alright, should I watch a bunch of these isekais? And I sampled a couple other shows, and I struggled to get through the early episodes of Assassin, and it never really got good or anything, so I was like, alright, enough of this for now. Now I'm down in a Rekka hole, so it's all about a Rekka 7 these days, you know? We're just in a Rekka mode at this time. I'm currently just staring at the thumbnail for this stream and how incredible it is. I assume you all saw it on the way in, but it is a very tiny girl smashing a huge cheeseburger into her face. I can't describe it as even an attempt to eat it. She just seems to be bashing a cheeseburger into her face, which this is definitely the vibe. This is the vibe. Have I ever thought about talking about Dr. Stone again? I could see doing it. I never finished the second season, but Bird likes Dr. Stone, so I could definitely see us watching it together and catching up on it. I don't know if there's plans for a third season, but that seems like maybe something I would want to save for if there's more of it, or just like read the fucking manga, because I don't know that the anime is planning to cover the whole thing. Maybe it is, I don't know. But I think it's fairly long at this point. Chainsaw Man video would probably do well, especially when the anime drops. Oh yeah, no, don't worry. I'm going to talk about Chainsaw Man. You saw how quickly I jumped on Spy Family when that came out. Like, this video was out, like, day 2 of the show being out. And fucking, if it hadn't been taken down approximately 6 times, it would probably have a fucking couple of views by now. Let's see. Where was the original one at? I can show this. Here we go. Blocked. 15,000. So the original upload on April 11th got up to 15,000 views, and I had to make a second upload by April 21st that is now close to 10,000 views. So yeah. And you can also see my Mushoku Tensei video completely removed thanks to these assholes at Molebeat who I don't even think have the rights to this show in any way. I forwarded I had to take multiple attempts at even submitting a counter notification. YouTube just didn't even pass along my first one. They've passed along the second one, it seems, which should mean that I get the video back in like 2 weeks if they don't respond. Sometimes they could just say, fuck you. It's a weird process. Usually when I get to this point, the mass emailing is the only way to get anything done. I don't even know if this goddamn email actually goes to any actual person, since it's like, you know, they don't have to put a working email in there, but hopefully the spam flood gets them. Here's the Akebi Sailor uniform original upload that has 5,000 views as opposed to the 5,499 that the re-upload has. And the difference is like somewhere around here. There's like a few clips that were like a little too close together in the original show, and so I just like reordered them slightly, and that's you probably can't even detect the difference unless you were looking for it. And that's the difference between a video that's up and a video that's not up. Super easy on the lungs, brought it up because Bird mentioned it last stream. I'll get back to you. Awesome. I don't have a PO box right now yet, so I don't know where I can ask you to send stuff to, but I will figure something out. Because I don't want to give out my current address. Although if you contact me privately, that might not be a problem. I don't not trust you, person who wants to send me a volcano. But yeah, I definitely think Chainsaw Man will do well. And I love Chainsaw Man. I mean, it did well for me already because a lot of people don't know this because I don't talk about it anymore. But, you know, I had a little channel with Best Guy Ever about a year ago called Content, where our most successful video was covering the first arc of Chainsaw Man.
Everybody's twisted.
Well, I mean, we'll get back to
So if you wanted to hear my thoughts on all of Chainsaw Man, they exist. We did cover the entire manga on Content. So I will certainly try to convert. This is a good look. I like the shirt over the whatever the hell you'd call that.
Welcome back to another episode of Content.
Glad I started dyeing my hair. This is a really good look, actually. Anyway, that's all the contents on Chainsaw Man. I don't think Eureka's name is supposed to be based on the word Eureka. I do think it is. So the reason that I say it Eureka is that in Japanese, there are only 5 vowel sounds. A, I, U, E, O. They don't have the same sounds as us. And while they do have U as a sound, they could have written it as Eureka 7. It is not written that way. It's written as Eureka 7. So Eureka. So when you watch the show in Japanese, everyone's calling the girl Eureka. I assume the dub did the same thing, but nobody's calling her Eureka. They're calling her Eureka. So Eureka 7. It's the name of the character. Now, granted, that name was created by Bandai before the show was even a twinkle in someone's eyeball. Bandai just had an idea of we're gonna make a show, a mecha show called Eureka 7 or Eureka 7, and Bones make it. And then Bones said, "All right, we'll do something with that." And then, you know, they assumably made the character be named Eureka, but yeah, the title of the show is literally the first thing that existed about the show. And I will talk about that in my video in the first episode of it, which I might just go ahead and start editing right now and turn this into an editing stream since I've kind of burned out on watching random anime clips. Where am I at nowadays on the whole learning Japanese and visiting / moving to Japan thing? I've heard a few different things from you about it over the years. Here's where I'm at. I will let you know. Let me just open up the app real quick. And we'll do a little Japanese. So I'm on Unit 2. Ooh, I have to fix my intro skill. So I had mastery in Intro 1, and now I have to fix it because it's been too long. So, okay. It's asking me which of these is China. Okay, I got that right. I am I am from France, rather. Nice to meet you. My name is Honda. Okay, so that's going to be Hajimemashite.
Honda to iimasu.
Perfect. Nice to meet you. I am Tanaka. Nice to meet you. I'm Tanaka. Are you Chinese?
中国人ですか?
Cool.
はい、日本人です。
Yes, I am Japanese. Mrs. Honda is Japanese, so that's going to be
本田さんは日本人です。日本人ですか?
Are you Japanese? Are you a student?
学生は
No, it'll just be 学生ですか?
マリオと言います。
My name is Mario. Is anybody learning Japanese just from hearing this right now? Honda-san wa sensei desu.
はい、お願いします。
Yes, please.
アメリカ出身です。
I am American. But it wants me to type,
出身
Yes.
です。
Hajimemashite. Honda. Yes.
田中で
Oh, it was
す。
Tanaka.
よろしく。
Tanaka
Tanaka
desu.
desu.
Yoroshiku. Tanaka-san wa Nihonjin desu ka?
はい、学生です。
Yes, I am a
Hi.
student.
学生です。イギリス出身です。
Igirisu
Shushin
Shushin desu. Chugokujin desu. Tanaka-san
田中さん
wa Nihonjin
Nihonjin desu.
desu. Alright, I did it. I fixed my skill in Intro 1, and I got 100%. Apparently, I have to fix Katakana 1 as well, but this doesn't seem like it's incredibly entertaining or riveting. Damn, I missed 2 days? I still have a 24-day streak because I had 2 or 3 streak freezes, but Jesus Christ. I really fucking fell off. I gotta refill my streak freezes. Alright, well, so I'm not in the best state. In fact, I only have 1 day before the Sapphire League is over, and I'm at number 18, and I need to be in the top 10 to advance. I'm not in the demotion zone, but I would like to advance. So I might sit down tomorrow at some point and just, like, bust through lessons all day until I fucking make it to that. Yeah, it could be a fun stream if I had a way to, like, have a visual component, I think. But just listening to it, it's a little bit much. Duolingo, probably not the way. I like it so far. It's been really, it's fun to use and convenient. Although it is, like, just the fact that it's so repetitive can be difficult. Oh yeah, I do need to be playing some OSTs, don't I? Let's get that fucking Eureka 7 OST going again. Get it by your hands. Alright, so this is the first part of the Eureka 7 video. It's going to be 1 hour, 1 minute, and 47 seconds. The first 8.5 minutes, though, are already from the preview videos. This is stuff that I already edited and has already been released, but we have to address the fact that in that video called Anime Alphabets, it just fades there and there's no actual Anime Alphabet title card because it wasn't actually the thing. So I gotta, you know, add the stuff. Oh god, you edit in Vegas? Yes, I've always edited in Vegas. It's the only thing I know. It's very easy to use. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is probably subtract the last clip
and this
here.
is my series of in-depth deep
Well, I want at least that.
and this is my series of in-depth deep dives on anime classics called
Alright, and then we'll just swap this clip with something else. And I'm going to have to take the music that was used at this part, bring that back, which of course I already fucking deleted because I never keep my files, so I'm dumb. Alright, well, we'll just skip that part for
Alphabets.
now. E is
Even
for
when
Eureka
added in-
7, we'll say somewhere around here. Or K, rather. K is for Ko Kyoshihen Eureka 7. We'll say around here.
even when added into their adaptation work, though that wouldn't stay
Oh, right. I wanted to replace this sentence that I said in the original wrong.
a decompressed, full breathing version of nobody would feel the need to attempt it again for a while. Comparison to what
Where do I say this? Yeah, right around here.
stayed true for long. Even when added into their adaptation work, though that wouldn't stay true for long. The early work.
I said it like a little bit slower this time. This doesn't quite match the edit perfectly.
Even when added into their adaptation work, though that wouldn't stay true for long. Though that
Just want that to come a little bit later.
even when added into their adaptation work, though that wouldn't stay true for long. The early 2000s
Okay.
anime alphabets. From the founding of the studio in the year 2000 until the release of Eureka 7 in 2005, I think there were 3 productions of utmost importance to Eureka 7's existence.
productions.
First of these, of course, was Cowboy Bebop. Not
That's easy enough. I guess I should put this part on screen too. This is how I get my footage for shows I don't currently have downloaded onto my computer. Search Sakugamad and then download that shit. And then you have all of the best looking moments from that show instantaneously. Hopefully uploaded in decent quality. Then you wait for your stupid computer to actually download the thing, and you close out of the spam window that came up, and you fucking toss that shit into Vegas. And then you find an action scene you haven't recently used in another video that used this exact same Sakuga compilation. Okay.
from the founding of the studio.
Let's put it here.
From the founding of the studio in the year 2000 until the release of Eureka 7 in 2005, I think there were 3 productions of utmost importance to Eureka 7's existence.
I don't want this clip from the movie because I just used that in this video earlier. Ooh. Yeah. This is the same fight from before, so that makes more sense.
Productions of utmost importance to Eureka 7's existence. First of these, of course, was Cowboy.
See, that's the kind of edit that will make people forget that that's not actually the
2005.
order that
I think
those
there were
images
3 productions
occur in
of
the show.
utmost importance
which I really
to Eureka
like.
7's existence. First
First of these is Cowboy Bebop. Ooh, yeah. This is fucking classic.
First of these, of course, was Cowboy Bebop, not only because its creation dovetailed directly into the existence of Studio Bones, but also because it introduced Eureka 7 lead writer Sato.
I really want him jumping into battle when I say dovetail.
Bebop, not only because its because it's created.
So we're gonna just cut ahead too.
Only because its creation dovetailed directly into
Yeah.
the existence of Studio Bones, but also because it
That's really good. It's been a while since I watched the scene. It's so fucking good.
but also because it introduced Eureka 7 lead writer Sato Dai into the
Okay, so now we're gonna have to go get specifically clips from Sato Dai's episodes. In fact, I'm not even gonna use this one because it's not. And so this is a nice little segment.
From the founding of the studio in the year 2000 until the release of Eureka 7 in 2005, I think there were 3 productions of utmost importance to Eureka 7's existence. First of these, of course, was Cowboy Bebop, not only because its creation dovetailed directly into the
I
existence of
love
Studio
that
Bones, but also
dovetailed.
because
It feels so good. Hold on. This is what my editing is mostly about, is happening to find an image that I think goes really good with that word I said, and then being like, yeah, I want that. I've lost the chat. What the fuck? How many windows do I have open now? Why is this still here? Fucking borked ass Mikasa. Oh, it's because I opened this in the chat window. Okay. Okay, there hasn't been any new super chat since the no keen question. If anybody's got anything they want me to rant about, send a super chat and I'll give a rant. I can do it while editing just fine. This is the most mindless part of my job. Again, most of the mindfulness is simply in this.
only because its creation dovetailed directly
Dovetailed.
into the existence of Studio Bones, but also
Feels so good, especially because the bones when he hits the wall too.
Studio Bones, but also
Bones.
Studio Bones, but also
All right. What happened to my music? Where did Get It by Your Hands go? I guess it's over. I don't want Defying Fate. This song is way too fucking dramatic. Yeah, there we go. Or just browse Sakugaboru. The problem with that is that a lot of the stuff uploaded there is in WebM format that doesn't always translate that well into editing, or it'll look weird or frame skippy or something, or just be in an odd aspect ratio. And there's usually pretty reliable good Sakuga stuff on YouTube that's not gonna give me any problems. And also it'll be a compilation of because that was a 6-minute video of every piece of Sakuga in Cowboy Bebop, so I don't have to individually download all those clips. Though Sakugaboru can be very good, can be a good resource for this if you're looking for very specific moments from a show. But what we're about to look for is specifically the 3 episodes that Sato Dai wrote of Eureka 7. Those being Jamming with Edward, Brain Scratch, and Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's looking like Jamming with Edward is just on YouTube in HD in its entirety. So that's nice. I didn't necessarily want to have to download the whole fucking episode, but we're gonna do that because I'm probably using a couple seconds. I guess this. I'm using 3 different episodes and I want to show all 3 of them, but this isn't a super long segment, so each one's not going to spend a ton of time on screen. But I should be doing this part on the screen. Let me just separate out the live chat from the stuff I'm actually doing. Okay, we want. Forgot the space. Perfect. They all just seem to be up in fucking phenomenal quality too. Look at that. Wow. I mean, granted, this is a 720p monitor that I'm recording from right now. It's probably actually being upscaled for you into 1080p, which is funny. But it's still looking really good. I see some super chats. Adam Fabian with $5. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. What do you think now about your neurotyping system? What uses do you have for it? What uses do you see for it generally? I would say it helped me a lot to contextualize the way that people think and myself. I would say that I've kind of come to the conclusion that like there's so many different ways that people think that I don't know if the chart can account for all of them, and like I really just want to study the way people think, because I think it's an avenue that not enough people have explored, because we all think that it's probably all the same. Like, your expectation is probably that other people's brain doesn't function that differently from yours, but like, I asked my mom how often her thoughts are in words, and she's like, almost never. It's like images and sounds. And like, I can tell she has insanely vivid images in her head, because she goes into these like elaborate descriptions of them. But like, that's all her summoning words to describe the images, whereas I have words going through my head all the time, and sometimes images and sometimes bits of well, mostly bits of music actually, and then the words on top of that. But like, my brain is always music and words. Those two things are always happening, and I know the music part doesn't happen to everybody, you know, and not everybody has the words part either. So like, just realizing that was a big deal for me, and like, you know, for me it helped to contextualize myself to realize like, oh yeah, the Neurotypeline podcast. I wouldn't say I was on there lately per se. It was, I think, like 6 months ago, but that is the most recent thing where I've talked about it at length. I talked to, you know, the other people who've been working with the concept and shared some of my thoughts on it. That like, I think as a rubric, I think it could be simplified. I don't think it needs 16 categories. I think probably 9 would be fine, honestly. Although they had kind of convinced me on that show for reasons that it could work, depending on like how the layout of it was. It was a pretty good episode. So if you want to hear, you know, updated thoughts, it was one where we had like recorded an hour and a half, then lost it and had to record another hour and a half. But yeah, I still think it's a really cool concept and interesting way of looking at stuff. But like, the point of it more than anything is to make you think about the way you think and realize that other people don't think that way, and sort of propose other ways that people think, so that you can change the way you approach people, you know, and like understand that there's like a major fundamental difference in the way that they're experiencing reality versus yourself, even when it doesn't seem that way. Genki G-san with $5. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. What are your thoughts about the rise in pro-censorship / anti-sexualization / anti-lolly sentiments that seem to be spreading through anti-Twitter these days? It's always been like this. It's always going to be factions. It's always going to be arguing. The whole time I've been in the anime community, it's been constant fucking fighting about this subject. Like, and it's like there's 3 sort of factions, and it's the anti-lolly people who are just like, it's disgusting. They're just having a raw emotional reaction to it. Like, it's just straight up conceptually, it makes them feel not okay, and they're incensed to a degree that they believe that like, that this is something you can just be self-righteous about. Like, I don't believe that about anything. I'm not a person who believes that there is an angle you can have that allows you to just be self-righteous about a subject over other people. Most people do. They think like, oh, you murdered someone, so I'm better than you. You know, like that kind of mentality. And so like, those types of thinkers, they see this lolly stuff and they're just like, oh, well, I see this as immediately inherently the worst thing imaginable, and therefore it needs to be condemned, you know? Whereas then you have the free speech camp that's like, I don't really care about what it is, it's just obviously, you know, it's speech. It's like, before even having to justify the speech, just the fact that it's not hurting anybody and it's just speech is like, should be obvious to a lot of people. So you got that camp. And then you have the people who actually are into or experience lolly, who are like a whole spectrum of like ways that they actually feel about it and ways that they engage with it. There are plenty of people who are into lolly who are uncouth individuals I would want nothing to do with. And it's not specifically because they're into lolly, but it might be the way or the type or where they go with it or how they think about it, you know? So, like, I don't want to be the person who's out there like, oh, yeah, everybody who likes lolly is perfectly fine. Like, probably not. Probably not. Let's be honest. But I also understand lots of different reasons that it can, you know, affect you as art beyond just that it's like, you know, potentially somebody's getting off to a drawing that looks like a kid or whatever. Like, yeah, that's even a subjective description of anything. Like, so yeah, I don't know. I obviously fall into the pro free speech camp, but Genki G Sense feels like a lot of it is virtue signaling and clout chasing. There might be genuine feeling or opinion behind it, but once the likes pour in, it's self-reinforcing. That is absolutely true as well. And there's a lot of this whole like pedo hunter fucking, I mean, Twitter is full of, like, social justice warriors in a very traditional sense of, like, the people who used to, because that used to be something people called themselves before it became, like, an insult people throw at each other, but, like, used to be that there were people who were like, I am going out to fight for social justice. I am looking for people on Twitter that have offensive opinions so I can put them on blast and, you know, and like feel morally justified and feel like I'm the hero and they're the villain because I conquered them, you know, in this place. And like, you know, when it gets to that level, that's when it becomes this whole fucking weird cultural schematic shit where it's like, you know, these gangs out for blood, these fucking witch hunts and shit like on the internet. That shit gets crazy. I obviously have strong opinions about it after the whole Barack Obama drama I had back in 2018 where, you know, I complained about Patreon banning lolly art and then got like a fucking day and a half of death threats. So that was no fun. But, you know, again, I'm used to it. It's just always been this way. And I don't think it's going to stop anytime soon. Unless it somehow becomes really popular to defend it, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon. I don't think it's impossible if this world gets to like a certain point of absurdity where like there's like a Lil Nas X for lolly, but like we're at the point where we've barely got a Lil Nas X for being gay and black, you know, like it's going to be a while. Lil Nas X is my go-to culture icon. He's the only person younger than me that I think I admire, maybe? Well, that's not true. I admire Denzel Curry, and he's younger than me. But Lil Nas X is way younger than me. Like, I think he's only like... Oh, no, I think we found out he was 23. I think he might be actually older than Bird. I keep thinking he's, like, literally 20 for some reason. Maybe just because maybe he was 20 when Old Town Road came out, and I just have been stuck in a fucking time loop for the last 3 years. Take my horse to the Old Town Road, I'm on a road. I don't know why I started saying lie until I can't no more. Hopefully Twitter doesn't change anything in terms of terms of service when it comes to art posting. The fact that there is just so much arrow art on Twitter is kind of a bulwark against the censorship brigades. That's true. And I follow sometimes even I get like a little Jesus fuck about like the stuff KT cosplay posts. I think she's called something else now because she actually did get banned, I think, for posting too much lolly and getting reported. But she's constantly fighting against the anti-lollycon people and just like spamming erotic hentai on her Twitter constantly. I appreciate the effort. True Fox 1 with $10. Domo arigato gozaimasu. I like seeing that you're a fan of Mr. Girl. His audience heavily overlaps with Destiny's, who keeps getting brought up on your streams. Do aspects of your content scratches a similar kind of itch? The reason Destiny keeps getting brought up on my streams is that he and I had a debate that did not end in my favor, according to a lot of audiences. Some people think that I won that debate, but it's the less popular opinion. Basically, I went in there to argue with him that he is a disingenuous asshole who
takes people's words and twists them so he can use them against them. And in order for me to prove that he was twisting my words, he put me in a position of arguing that one does not have to argue better to win an argument. And I still think that my argument was true. Like, my point was that if somebody says, like, if somebody puts up a huge argument for why flat Earth is real, and then your argument is, but it's not though, I still think you won, because you, like, everybody knows that you were correct, and, like, nothing that idiot says, no matter how much they debate, is going to change that. You're not going to come away from that the loser in anybody's opinion, other than people who are like, oh, but he didn't debate. It's like, yeah, but fucking, that's, you know, I guess if you're, I think the difference between the way I was thinking and him, and I understood this more when I talked to Econ afterwards, is that Econ is somebody who's from Debate Club. He's used to debates being staged as an event. In the event that a debate is being staged, yes, you would lose the debate if you didn't debate, but that's not the way I think about debate. I think about it as like a public gladiatorial spectacle that is deciding who's correct about something. And in that case, you know, like, no, it doesn't matter how much you argue about why flat Earth is real, unless you're really fucking charismatic, you know, and it becomes a popularity contest. But like, so yeah, that ultimately it didn't go well for me. People came away from it with me saying that like facts actually don't matter to arguments. Like, that was my point somehow. And I got blasted for it for a while. So, and he got a lot of views on that. So that was, and because I'm an analytical person, I did have a lot of audience overlap, and a lot of people, like, I actually lost a lot of subs over that argument. Like, there were a lot of people who thought Destiny just like bodied me in that. And the lesson I learned that I came away with that was so important to me was realizing that Destiny and a lot of other people on the internet and people like him is not trying to be correct and win arguments. He's trying to have a good show and make people like support him, you know? And like, when I actually saw his audience and the way that they communicate with him, it totally changed. Like, it was like a moment of me realizing what I had actually stepped into and that I had fucked up horribly because I was playing a different game than the one that I had showed up for, you know? So yeah, I'm willing to take that as an L, even though I think that my argument is correct. I'm still willing to take it as an L because obviously people, people ultimately sided with him on it. Doesn't matter if they truly understood my platform or were exaggerating it fucking horrifically. But then Destiny eventually, because part of the reason I had gone on to talk to him was that I hated his debate with Dick Masterson. And Destiny assumed that I was some kind of like Trump supporter because of that, because he had forced Dick into a Trump hole because he thought Dick was a Trump supporter, which is fucking not even true. So, like, I think both of us were just, I think me and Dick both went into it a little bit too on like the meme tier, like not realizing that this dude is doing a show, like that it's a, you know, it's not, it just wasn't what either of us thought it was. And so that made Dick eventually become friends with Destiny once he like kind of met him in person and got behind the whole, you know, understanding what he's really doing. I also think Destiny is evolving as a person, and he's really interesting because he's like a human, like a literal human computer. So it's just interesting to see him like take in information and all that. I have Destiny all wrong, just like a lot of people have me wrong. What do I have wrong about him exactly? I'm curious, because my impression is that Destiny is a dude who streams basically all the time and argues with people because he's just good at it, and it's what people like watching him do. And people particularly like watching him body people that they think look dumb. Like, the appeal of the show seems to be, to me, watch Destiny make whoever he's arguing with look like an idiot. I could be totally wrong about that, but that's the impression I've gotten from all the stuff I've heard of him. And from people who I know who do watch him have told me that they like watching, you know, dumb assholes with bad opinions get blown out, basically. But if I'm wrong about that, you know, let me know. That's just the impression I have gotten.
what I said was accurate previously, but as I've said, he's evolved. Yeah, I haven't really heard anybody talk about him in the last like year or anything, so I have no idea what he's like currently, actually. Yeah, institutions, like the way he argues is if you were on a debate team or political debate, but in real life he would get thrown out immediately for all the ableist slurs and ad hominem. Yeah, of course. Which that was what bamboozled me the most, was when I went in there. Is like I went in expecting it to be like much more formal, and then he just started calling me an idiot, and I was like, "What the like?" I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and you're like, just literally calling me an idiot over and over again, and you don't even know me. Like I was. It definitely got me a little bit hot under the collar. I won't lie. Because I ended up raising my tone in that debate quite a lot. I definitely got, like, I let him get to me. He's been banned from Twitch like 5 times. Yeah, I have heard about his recent banning. I'd be interested to meet Destiny. That's a person who, like, I would never really enjoy his content. I think I would enjoy meeting him. I don't know if he would enjoy meeting me. I think he would think I was a weird asshole, maybe. But then again, he hangs out with Dick Masterson, and Dick's kind of a weird asshole. He's maybe not as weird of an asshole as I am, but he's more of an asshole than I am. So that's not preclusive. But yeah. I could see having a real life conversation with him more so than an internet conversation with him. I really have not even like started on editing this Eureka 7 video. Somehow the thought of going into editing just while I'm doing a live stream doesn't seem that appealing to me. I'm afraid I'm gonna get too wrapped up in the editing, and then nobody's gonna super chat me, and then I'll have no super chats. I guess I finished talking about Destiny. Let's open up a tab again. Oh right, I was downloading all those Cowboy Bebop episodes. I guess we can go ahead and do that part. My characterization had the implication he doesn't operate in good faith. I do think he... Well, I think he operates in good faith in terms of, like, he's being true to his thoughts and intentions. I think he has no faith in the other... Well, this could be different now. Again, I don't know what he's like now. But when I debated with him, it certainly seemed like he was coming at it from the impression that no matter what, I had to be an idiot. Like, no matter what I was going to say, there was no escaping that I am an idiot, you know, in the interaction. Jason Bular with Australian $15. Domo arigato gozaimasu. Hi Trixie, I used to watch you years ago and thought I'd see where you are a few months ago. I am pleased to see you are doing a lot better now. You seem happier and concentrated on your various contents. Thank you very much. I'm glad to see that people are coming back. Every time somebody tells me they're back to the channel, I'm like, damn, I must be doing something good, because it is not easy to get somebody to come back. But yeah, I've been definitely doing better, been happier and more concentrated, more just that I understand myself as a person and what I'm trying to do better. You know, in most of my career, I really didn't have a strong sense of what I was trying to accomplish. Right now I'm trying to accomplish buying a house, so the goal is clear. There's no questions in mind. It's just, what do I do to make the money to buy a house? And the answer to that seems to be make videos as frequently as possible and live stream as frequently as possible. So, you know, it feels good to be operating with a strong sense of purpose and intention. Lately, I've just been lucky that I've had more opportunities to stream just by circumstances of the other people living with me not always being around at night anymore. So, you know, I don't know if that'll always remain true until I get a place of my own, but I gotta say, I made pretty good money off of YouTube last month. Like, an amount that I was not expecting to make, didn't necessarily think was possible to make with ad revenue and super chats in a month at the level that my videos are at right now, like in terms of view count. So it was actually very nice. And if I can duplicate that again this month, I don't think it's going to be rough for me for too much longer. Bobby Hill with $5. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Rant about Yoshinori Kaneda. Also, have you thought about an anime podcast with Econ? I feel like you guys would have a lot to talk about. Econ and I have done a couple of podcasts over the years. I don't think any of them are still up publicly on any of my channels, because particularly old podcasts or stuff I don't like to leave up for too long, because it's just random errant stuff that I probably don't agree with or wouldn't say the same way anymore. We had a video that was like, is Miyazaki overvalued? And another one where we talked about VTubers and stuff. Econ can be interesting to talk to. He very much like has he likes to guide the conversation to become the conversation he wants to have in a way that can be difficult for me to talk to him, but I also haven't talked to him in a long time. I don't really know what he's up to right now. But yeah, he's the type of person who, when he's around, for sure, I can sit him down and talk about anime all fucking day. Like, I don't prefer to talk to him or even most people on the internet if I can help it. You know, especially people who I'm friends with, I really don't want to talk to on the internet. But, you know, if Econ and I are ever in the same room again, there's no reason to think we wouldn't end up doing some kind of anime podcast, whether it was recorded or not. As for Yoshinori Kaneda, I am no expert. I know he is, like, one of the absolute gods, most influential animators of all time. In fact, let's just go ahead and put a Kaneda Sakuga Mad on the screen so we can look at it. But he's, like, the biggest influence on Hiroyuki Imaishi, who is my favorite animator and director. So, wow, 1999 super chat from Tulu. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Super chats really add up. Hope they are enough incentive for you to keep up these streams. They've been a lot of fun. I'm glad you're having a good time. I always end these streams feeling like the first thought I have is always, I spent too much time talking about super chats. Like, not like answering them, but like talking about how I want them. But I always end up with a satisfying amount of super chats, so I guess the technique works. I just hope it doesn't become boring for anybody. But yeah, it is a great incentive. It is. I love doing streams because it's just an excuse for me to have a social interaction that I can like justify as part of my work, because I don't get out. I don't go out much. I don't really talk to people on the internet because I don't like. This is the only format through which I enjoy talking to people on the internet, is like talking to a whole bunch of people at once, because then I don't have to feel like I'm stuck in any conversation particularly. I'm somebody who really doesn't like to feel like I can't just get up and go do something else at any given moment. Like, all throughout my life, a big compelling part of my activity has been like, I want to be able to instantly stop what I'm doing and go do something else because I feel like it. And social interaction at length can be really prohibitive to that. And it's one thing if there's a purpose. Like, if you're all going out to do a thing together, that's one thing. But like, when people are just kind of hanging out and there's no real clear sense of when it's supposed to end, then I just feel like it needs to end immediately, because I need to be doing something, you know, like something clear and with a goal that I can accomplish, and then it's done, and then I can go to bed that night, you know? Like, I can't sleep if I feel like I didn't accomplish anything in a day. That's a big part of what gets me through making so much content. Unfortunately, it's also a big part of why I have horrible, crippling anxiety, but, you know, it's... You take the good with the bad, and I fucking forgot what I was saying because that was such a depressing sentiment. Yeah, just like, this is a big part of why I don't play a lot of online games. For instance, like when I used to play MMOs, I would always play solo because I don't want to have to be beholden to the raid group. Like, I don't want to have to set aside, you know, I guess again, it's different if it's scheduled. Like, you know, people who are really serious about those games are going to schedule it like a week in advance or whatever. But like, I tend to just want to be able to very loosely do whatever the fuck. I don't really tend to make a lot of plans ahead of time. These are things I'm kind of trying to change about myself. Like, I want to be a little bit more capable of, you know, of not feeling that like constant tug to run away from a situation the second that it's not actively progressing towards a like conclusion, you know, of some sort. But yeah, I'm the first person out of every social interaction. Like when I do podcasts, the second the podcast is over, I'm like, okay, like I'm ready to do the next thing now, you know. I stopped being friends with someone because they refused to ever just hang out. I mean, I that person probably is okay with that if they've got other things to do, I assume. Yeah, I never want to just hang out with anybody, except for my husband. And, you know, even then we usually do something. We're usually like watching a show or something, like something that has some sense of purpose to it. A conversation can have a sense of purpose to it if it's going in a direction and you feel like you're gaining something. You know, Bird and I have lots of good, meaningful conversations, but we don't have a lot of non-meaningful conversations. I used to have a lot of those. Like, my life used to be resplendent with non-meaningful conversations with people, and now I'm not doing that. I feel like I used to always need someone else to like hear and reaffirm my thoughts, or else they're like not real or not as meaningful or something. And like the result of that is like saying everything all the time to someone, and like I feel like I got to a point in my life where I could only be around people who would let me say literally anything. And, like, that doesn't surround you with the best people, necessarily, you know? Like, sometimes it's better to just not. To just, like, be okay with yourself having the thought and not need someone else to have reaffirmed that it was, like, okay or normal to have that thought, basically. I don't know what the fuck I'm ranting about anymore. I'm just like going on about stuff I've been thinking about and watching this crazy animation on screen. These Kanata dragons. Cozy with $5. Rant about the best anime you haven't seen and why you haven't seen it yet. Probably Anne of Green Gables. Because that's the one that's like the most critically beloved and that has been recommended to me the most times that I haven't seen. The biggest reason, it's very long. It looks slow. All the other World Masterpiece Theater shows have been a little too slow for me, a little too long for me. You know, I've loved some of Isao Takahata's films. I wouldn't say I'm like a huge Takahata fan, so I am not like thinking, oh, it's going to be my favorite anime because he's such a genius. But again, a lot of people have recommended it to me and said that it's really incredible. I have a few of these actually on my Mal's plan to watch, so we'll go into that. 'Cause I don't think there's anything I like haven't marked in here that would be super important. So yeah, Anne of Green Gables, Akage no Anne, that's the very first thing. Ashita no Joe, I've also heard is supposed to be very, very good. Gintama, I haven't finished, but I have seen a lot of it, so I want to see Gosenzo Sama Banbanzai really badly. That's just like, that's something I really want to do as like a group watch and then like comment, like a podcast type thing, because I think it just seems like it would be right for that. A lot of these are like specials of shows I have seen. Yeah, Anne of Green Gables is the obvious answer here. I feel like there's something else I'm missing that I just like thought of recently. I know Sunny Boy is supposed to be quite good. I don't know if it's supposed to be like amazing or a classic, but people have been recommending that to me. Let's see what like the top rated anime that I haven't seen is. That's not a Gintama sequel. The Violet Evergarden movie? I have seen the show, though. Kimetsu no Yaiba movie. I've seen some of the show. What the hell is Xingwang Dailiren? I'm guessing this is not Japanese. Yeah. It's a Bilibili. Well, shit, I haven't heard of this at all, but apparently it's rated very fucking well on Mal. There's there's action, there's mystery, there's this captivating concept of time travel. It draws me in so much just in the first episode that I'm just dumbfounded. See, you don't need just twice in the same sentence. Its cleverly crafted mysteries don't lack anything. It keeps me curious and always somehow end up catching me off guard. It's a donghua capable of tears too, and isn't emotionally lacking either. Well, to start off, it's the first thing you notice about this donghua, the art. It's refreshing, unique art style I can't find anywhere else. It gives me a new sense of originality that's important in these animes and donghuas in both story and art. If you're one for smart characters, example, The Promised Neverland, with crafty plans, then this is a good add to your watches. Okay, that's the first sentence that actually gave me a sense of what this is going to be. This is one of the few OPs EDs that I actually don't skip, unless I'm urgent due to cliffhangers. Which one is it? Do you skip it or not? They have a unique opening, and the endings are always somewhat chilly as it ends on the iconic ED beats. The only upsetting thing I can find in this donghua is the excessive use of cliffhangers that keep me on the edge. Well, that's how you marathon a show. So basically, TLDR, if you like a suspenseful, exciting, brilliantly planned donghua, you'll like Link Click. Is that what is that how you, okay, yeah, Link Click. Well, I'm going to go back to the super chats. Lie with 420. Hey, you know what to spend this on. Boo, 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 boo. I actually just made my weed run for the next couple weeks, so I will probably be spending that on like a sandwich or something, but I've got, I am sitting on currently right now an ounce of rosé and an ounce of shake that I just got. I have so much because I'm going to be traveling in like a week, and I think Riley down in Kentucky hasn't been able to get his hands on flour, but only wax. So I'm going to trade some flour for some wax. I generally prefer wax, but I understand that like when you can't get flour, you start to really miss it. It's definitely a little bit different. Aji Rogers with $2. Arigato gozaimasu. Rant about how and why chicken is so delicious. Interesting. How is chicken so delicious? Like, scientifically, I don't know. I know I can find out by going to an Epicurious video and listening to a food scientist explain it. Like Rose, the food scientist. All right. You got me curious. Epicurious. Alright, 4 levels of fried chicken. Perfect. I can't hear shit. Oh, it's not Rose. It's the other girl. I don't think she works for Epicurious anymore.
Look for 2 attributes: smoke point
This must be
and
old.
flavor profile. Emily and Chris both used canola oil.
All right.
And Beth used peanut
Canola oil is okay. Peanut oil is way better.
Flavor to the chicken.
Which
That's
means
what
that we can
Chick-fil-A
bring them
uses, I
rocking
think.
at about
flavored oils.
And
Selecting
maybe
out
even
too much flavor from the oil.
hot buys.
Pan-fried conduction cooking pan, which doesn't allow you to regulate the temperature. Actually, getting a
Why is it good?
it's time to eat some fried
I don't
chicken.
feel like
It's
she really
basically-
explained why it was good, but maybe roast chicken will give us a better answer. There's Rose. What is it?
With your chicken, including aromatic vegetables.
Okay, you want the aromatic vegetables.
Come in contact.
I like my chicken hyper seasoned. Like, I really like it to be just like cake. I think chicken is generally like by itself. If you make a chicken breast and you cook it just right, it will be pretty good without even adding anything. But like, it's very bland. And, you know, I personally can't cook a chicken well enough to get it not dry without adding anything. But, you know, I would prefer the flavor blasted, just fucking hit it with everything in the cabinet type chicken. There was something that we had done recently. Bird got really into doing curry. So, like, his favorite way to eat chicken is curry. Because Bird will eat steak literally every day. He will cook and eat a steak every day if I allow him to. So, you know, every once in a while I'm like, let's have chicken. And, like, being able to discover ways to make chicken interesting will cause him to make chicken. Also, just, like, shredding it and putting it into rice. We do that if you're just like, all right, quick dinner, fucking, I'm going to wolf down, like, a huge bowl of shredded chicken rice and a bunch of seasonings. But why is it so delicious? I wish I had a better answer than what I got from Epicurious. True Fox with $5. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thoughts on lying? Is it ever morally permissible? How seriously do you take not lying? Some people may be willing to lie to protect others and themselves. You should be lying all the time, and it's morally reprehensible not to lie. If you don't know how to lie to protect yourself and other people, I think you're messing up. You gotta learn how to lie. Not being a good liar is a huge problem for me. I am way too interested in being honest. I want people to know my real thoughts and feelings. Like, I want people to know them and to reaffirm them. But people can't really understand your thoughts and feelings like that. Like, it's just, you know, I'm a pretty good communicator. I do it for a job. I still can't get across, you know, everything I'm thinking in a way that people are just going to get it. Like, you really got to target and choose what you are trying to communicate to the world and what impact it's going to have. Like, the words you say, it's not about lie or not lie. It's about speaking carefully. You know, like, people just need to put thought into the way that they present information. So, like, I've been trying to really run my career in a way where I don't have to lie, where I just can be honest about anything that would matter to anybody, and anything that wouldn't matter to you, you'll just never hear about. Like, I won't have to lie about it because you wouldn't even have a concept that there was something to be lied about. That's the best way. Like, omission is the best kind of, I wouldn't even call it lie, but, you know, it's the best kind of information control. It's a lot easier than trying to keep track of an outright lie. If you're going to lie, do it carefully. But lie by omission way more often than by making shit up. That's the best, you know. Just don't give an answer. No answer is a better answer than a fake answer or a real answer. In a lot of circumstances. Lunaxor with $20. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Have you checked out the latest season of the Pokemon anime? And if not, do you think you'll ever get to it? I don't know if it's the latest. I've seen some of Journeys, but not the, like, newest part of Journeys. Let's see how much I've seen, because I want to say when Bird and I were about to cross country, when we were leaving my parents' house, we stayed with his aunt for a few days, and we were just, like, laying on the couch marathoning this show. So, yeah, I guess we got to episode 21. I like it a lot. I actually think it's quite genius, because it basically, this show is super weird because it's simultaneously like a reboot of Pokemon, but also canonizes all of it. So it's like, you'll be watching episodes that are making, like, back-to-back episodes that are making reference to the entire history of the Pokemon anime and games, and, like, it's like all the franchises reel at once or something. It's a weird feeling. And they're traveling all over the world. So, like, each episode they'll be, like, you know, here you can see they're in Unova, then they're in Vermilion City, then they're in, you know, somewhere else. So, like, I just think it was a very clever place to take the Pokemon anime, that, like, I loved Sun and Moon and the idea of, like, okay, let's settle it down in one location and do a different art style and all that, but, like, opening up an adventure again and making it not regional, but just, like, all right, it's just gonna be Ash and this dude doing shit forever now, you know, it just is a better way to give longevity, I think, to the whole thing. I also haven't seen Secrets of the Jungle, which I assume is the latest movie. I generally try to keep up with the new series of the new series of Pokemon movies, so I will probably watch that soon. Genki Ji-san with $10. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Before I go, just want to say, as a longtime fan, it's been great seeing you get back to analytical anime video essays this year, especially when such content has all but disappeared from YouTube. I mean, I gotta tell you, if you're not watching Hazel, you should be watching her. There's a couple other people. Let me look. Let me go into my... A newer channel called Moon Anime that's literally only got like 5 views a video. He's covering a lot of this stuff like he has a Eureka 7 video that I watched when I was deciding to rewatch the show, and like, reminding me of the cool stuff about it to be getting myself hyped up to rewatch it. There's definitely a lot of small channels doing it, and I watch Shabe's do the AniTube weekly, so AniTube Digest rather, and so like every week I hear about 7 or 8 new analysis videos, and sometimes 1 or 2 of them are kind of interesting. Sometimes interesting stuff comes from channels you don't expect, and then sometimes there's also stuff that's just pretty good. But yeah, I think the style of analysis I do is definitely not as common to anime as it is to video games and film. So I do think I'm kind of like, I see myself as the only anime YouTuber that does the same thing as my favorite gaming and film analysis channels do. It's like, I think I do the same thing as Noah Caldwell-Gervais, basically. Like, as far as I'm concerned, this is, I'm a little bit more personal, a little bit more involved in the text of my stuff, but like fundamentally we're coming at stuff from a very similar angle. But yeah, I too wish there were more people covering anime from my sort of angle as well. But I like that there are people who have like their own style and their own take, and who I know will never make the same video I will. Aldorn with $2. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. What's your least easy to explain thought lately? Let's just pull some from my Twitter, because I've had some fucking dumbass tweets recently. And this will give me an excuse to explain what the fuck I was thinking. Can't stop imagining a magazine called Shit on My Face Monthly, and every page is just a full spread photo of someone whose face has just been shit all over. I blame the Wendy's Biggie Bag. So I'd just eaten a Wendy's Biggie Bag, and I just kept thinking about the phrase Shit on My Face Monthly. Then I imagined a whole magazine out of it. Why? I don't fucking know. That's how my brain works. Here's another one. I want to read this little dialogue I wrote. Here we go. How much per spec? That's 1 per spec, Tiv. Name's not Tiv. Oh, you're from round then. Not so. Well then, how you keep your pocket on? With straps, you daft bastard. Well, don't shoot me. Don't worry, nothing in it, just like your noggin. Less noggin into that. I don't know why my accent switched so much over the course of that. So if anybody can't tell what's going on here, he asked him how much per spec, and he said that's 1 perspective. He's like, well, my name's not Tiv, but native, so he heard it as native. Oh, you're from round then. Not so. Well, then how do you keep your pockets on if you don't sew? With straps, you daft bastard. Oh, you're strapped? Well, don't shoot me. And he says, nothing in it like your noggin. Oh, let's noggin into that. So yeah, okay. I think we all are on the same page now. Do I have any other fucking weird tweets from recently? No, I think those are the weirdest thoughts I've had that I actually thought were capable of being made public for some reason. This is really cool. Oh. Very cool. Yeah, this is fucking sick. What a cool art style. and very few views or retweets. This person needs to blow up. Because this shit is fucking dank. Secrets of the Jungle is the movie of the year. It's about the new mythical Pokemon Zarude. That's the strongest statement I've ever heard about a Pokemon film, so I will definitely check that out. I am starting to get sleepy. It is 1:30 in the morning, I'm realizing. But this has been a fun and productive stream. So I'm pretty happy about it. But I am going to encourage people, if you have any final things you want to ask me about, to do it soon, because I will get too sleepy and I won't want to do this no more. Oh no, I'm on Facebook. I'm not supposed to be there. That's where my family is at. I'm just like checking I'm just checking my internet normally now. Like I just forgot I was like on a live stream and started checking the internet. I get so much spam. I don't know if anybody saw that in my mail. My Gmail was nothing but spam, because I just constantly get fucking spam emails. I don't know why. Am I hallucinating? I'm reading my chat there, and it doesn't look like I called it movie of the year. I just said it was the movie. Wait, what? Oh, it says the movie, yes. Fuck. That's how I know I'm really tired, because I read is the movie yes as is the movie of the year. I think I just saw that exclamation point as an R. Yeah, like I'm looking at it like a little off to the side, like blurry, and it totally looks like an R to me. That's fucked. That's so funny. Alright, well, I need to smoke the rest of this bowl and then pass the fuck out. So I'm just gonna watch the chat for a minute or so. Say goodbye to everybody. Watch you all say your goodbyes to each other. Let me know what you're gonna do after this stream. I assume go to bed for a lot of you, but if you're gonna go play a video game or watch a video or watch an anime or something, let me know, because I want to know. I want to know what you're up to. I want to know what my audience does when I disappear from their day, night, week, month, or even your year. If it takes too long to type, though, you can leave it in the comments after on the VOD. If you need to. Schoolwork, Java programming. That sounds pretty difficult. Gaming. Cool. Didn't know you got into Toho enough to have a Toho background. Oh yeah, I mean, this is fucking old Toho, you know? Embodiment of Scarlet Devil. I mean, Romelia Scarlet is like my favorite character design ever. I have the pop figure of her. I've got Sakuya X Remy Dojins physically. Like, I was very into Toho at a time. Never as huge into the games as just into a $5 super chat from Sharo X Rize. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Is Shinobu from Monogatari hot or cute? Both. What's the difference for you? That's a difficult one. I would say, super young Shinobu is adorable. Like, when she's in the movie, when she's, like, baby mode and he's patting her head, pure cute. When you get to, like, the way she is in the TV show, I would say more so cute. I don't think she's quite hot. I think she could be drawn in a way that would make her look hot. But I don't feel sexually attracted to the regular Shinobu that we get from the show. I think what's actually so powerful about the whole bathtub scene is that, to me, it's not particularly sexual. It's like hyper nude, but compared to other scenes in Nisei Monogatari, it is chaste. It's very not horny, and that's what's so good about it, in my opinion. But when you get to like mid, like, or I guess late teen Shinobu, like the long haired, like slightly aged up from how she is in the TV show, in the movies, when she's like on the road to recovery, that's when she starts to be really like beautiful, like really pretty, more sexually attractive, but not outright. And then you get to Kiss Shot and it gets like ridiculous. The tits are a little too much. So I don't know if I'm like especially, like, I don't know if I'd especially call her hot. And like, she's hot obviously in that she has a nice body, but I don't consider her to be like sexually attractive to me in any of her forms compared to say Hitagi, or even Nadeko, who is like much more sexualized as, for being like someone who probably shouldn't be, but she is much more portrayed as like the hot lolly in the show. Lie with 420, arigato gozaimasu. If I had to design what game, what would it be? I mean, I still love the idea of a game that's just called, I think it'll be, because originally I had an idea for a game called Save the Lollies. I want to expand it so that it's just like, it might even be Save the Cuties, so that's even going in an even worse direction in terms of what it would mean to people. But like, just a game where you play as like basically Balsa from Seirei no Moribito, like a badass chick with a spear, like a tall, like, warrior woman with a spear, and you go around on an island and you have to rescue just, cute little characters like little lollies and shotas, and it didn't even have to necessarily be lollies. It'd be more, I guess, along the lines of like strike witches, where like the design sense is almost inherently lolly, even though most of the characters do have larger breasts and stuff, like, but you still feel like it's a lolly show deep down. That would be more the spirit, but not as sexualized. Like, the point of it would be that it's a bunch of adorable kids that you rescue on this island, and then each of them would go back to like a home base, and when you meet them at your home base, they'll tell you about where they come from. And so like basically the whole game would be set on this island where like somebody's kidnapped all these cuties and you go around and save them. But when you recollect them to your base, then like they'll have some kind of purpose. Like, say one idea is that there will be a DJ character, and they come from like a country where everybody's like big into music, and like there's like a certain vibe to that place. And so you come to this character and you can just do sound tests and like listen to all the music in the game, but they'll also tell you all this stuff about their history. So like, I just like the idea of a game where basically the concept is that you're going around a small, like, tightly knit sort of environment, like a Castlevania, Dark Souls, Metroid type thing, but like each time you're trying to rescue somebody who you bring back to your like camp, and then they will tell you the story of the rest of the world. So, even though you're only seeing this small location, you get this huge story about all this stuff going on, like all the political machinations, all this turmoil going on in the world, like everything that there is to learn about the setting would just come to you from the characters that have been kidnapped to the island. So, regardless of whether it's about rescuing like cute little Vocaloid girls or something, I still think it would be a really good idea for like a game format. It's not that dissimilar from Dark Souls, really. Like, you do bring people, you kind of have that same effect when you save NPCs in that game. They're going to tell you about the world, but like, I would want it to be much more direct and more detailed, closer to like Mass Effect than Dark Souls, where like you can actually really talk to these characters and learn a lot, as opposed to it all being mysterious and vague. But mechanics-wise, when I first had the idea for this game was like fucking 8 years ago, and my mental image of it is just what Hyper Light Drifter ended up being. Like, when that game came out, I was like, oh, this is literally what I had in mind. There's a bunch of other games that have kind of followed the same formula, but like, yeah, and like, honestly, I don't have a video game idea that's as good as Crosscode. That game's amazing. So like in the face of that, I don't feel like there's anything I need to contribute to gaming, because like there's already a game that's just like it's like Like if I could have been a person who had made a game, I would want to be the one who had made Crosscode. Like that's the game that I'm like, that's fucking perfect. Like thank God they made a game for me, you know. Lunaxor with $10. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Do you still keep Aozaki Toko's voice on your phone? No, but I should. That was a few phones ago because I used to be on an Android and now I'm on iPhone, so I haven't bothered customizing anything. My alarm is this incredibly sharp fucking radar noise that blares and scares the shit out of me. It, like I now have like a traumatized trigger reaction. Like I can hear it in my own head and I jump at the thought of the sound. But yeah, it's been a while since I had the hi Genki. Aldorn with $2. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Please rant about the Mordetwai airplanes image. I know Mordetwai, I assume that's the standard. I can't remember what the airplane significance is, so we're going to go get that picture real quick so we can... Yeah. Can we pretend that airplanes in the night sky are like shooting stars? Yeah, so these are the lyrics to that one song, right? I want to make myself believe that planet Earth turns slow. I think it's that song. I could be wrong about this. Fireflies, that's the name of it. I don't know why. Actually, I do. It's just the color scheme. Like, this made perfect sense to me. When Mordetwai became a thing, I was immediately like, yeah, this should have happened sooner. Like, how wasn't this immediately a thing, I guess? It really just needed a strong enough meme to carry it, I think is the answer, you know? We needed something this preposterous to give rise to the situation, but just look, the color scheme just matches so fucking well. Like, they look good together. I don't know, like, it's two animated actors who are both, you know, like, as animated actors go, two conventionally attractive people hanging out together is something we all want to see. And in a strange way, Mordetwai is exactly that. It's the furry version of Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox, or like what's another like modern sexy couple people would get the reference of? Oh, it's by B.O.B. Okay. Either way, you know, it's some cheesy lyrics. I could really use a wish right now. Wish right now. Wish right now. I think I do know that song. Okay. I think I've exhausted the super chats. I think we're reaching the end. I'm ranting about Mordetwai. I'm definitely reaching the end of my rope. Have I watched Ongaku? No, I haven't. But there's, I think, a video about that by Shabes. I think Caribou-kun has a video on it. Alright, this is it. I'm too tired. I can't do it anymore. Alright, thanks everybody for coming out. This was fun. This was a weird experimental stream like nothing I've done before, and I think it went pretty okay. Started off, it took me a while to figure out what the rhythm was, but once I got it down, I enjoyed myself. Thank you everybody who came out. And never forget to always remember